The Nintendo Switch 2 is the fastest selling console of all time, defeating even the PS4 and the PS5 at launch and in the months after. I've been using it as my primary console for 3 months now, and I've got a lot of thoughts, but to keep it simple, here are 7 things that I love and 7 things that I hate to help you guys decide if the Switch 2 is right for you. Okay, so let's start with what I hate, and the first is the battery life. With my Switch OLED, I could get around 5 to 7 hours of gameplay, which made it perfect for travel. However, with my Switch 2, I'm only getting about 2 hours on average. Sure, sometimes 3 with lighter games like Hades, but most of the times it's around 2 hours, so less than half or sometimes a third of what I would get with my Switch OLED. Now, part of that is the new 90% charge limit that I do have enabled, but even turning that off, I don't believe an extra 10% would completely change the game here. So now I've got battery anxiety whenever I take it out and about. Therefore, I always need to make sure that it's charged, plus I also need to make sure that I take a battery bank with me as well, which does suck. The second thing that I don't like is its charging speed. We are in 2025 now, and pretty much any device supports fast charging, but the Switch 2 doesn't. In fact, it takes about 3 hours to charge to full, which is insane. It literally takes longer to charge than it lasts. Even my MacBook takes only 30 minutes to charge to 50% and about 2 hours to full, which makes the Switch 2 even harder to use on the go. I'm charging way more often, and because it charges so slowly, I basically have to keep a battery bank plugged in once it's low. The third thing that I don't like is the comfort. While the Switch 2 is actually more comfortable to hold than the Switch OLED, as it's bigger so I don't feel like my hands are crammed all the time, it's still very uncomfortable to use for long periods of time, because there's no grip on the back and the Joy-Cons dig into my palms quite heavily. So for me, I cannot use it for more than 30 minutes without my palms starting to hurt. But luckily, our sponsor dbrand fixes this. Their kill switch case for the Switch 2 does 2 things. 1, it protects the console itself, and 2, it adds proper hand grips to the Joy-Cons, letting me play for long periods of time with 0 comfort issues. They even stay on when you detach your Joy-Cons, unlike other grip cases. These grips are textured so they don't slip in long sessions, and you also get joystick caps for extra control. If you go for the travel bundle, you also get a snap-on front cover to protect your Switch on the move, plus a built-in game card holder. And if you step it up to the Ultra bundle, you'll get dbrand's Prism tempered glass screen protectors, which offer great protection and they're so easy to install. There's even a dock cover too, so you can dock your Switch without taking the kill switch off. A quick note, the first version did have a Joy-Con detachment problem. However, this version 2 that I've got here fixes this. All new orders are version 2, and version 1 buyer do get a free replacement plus a discounted retro color match skin. Check it out using the link below, and thanks again to dbrand for sponsoring this video. Now, the fourth thing that I don't like is its display. When I first got the Switch 2, I was actually impressed. To my eyes, it looked sharper, brighter, and just as colorful as my Switch OLED. But the more I used it, the more I became aware of its downsides, and also of Nintendo's literal false advertising. For example, Nintendo claims that a Switch 2 screen can do HDR. However, this is an LCD with no local dimming, so you cannot do true HDR as there are no independent dimming zones. Toggling HDR on and off in games does nothing, yet Nintendo still advertises it. Then, the bezels. They are noticeably thicker than the Switch OLEDs. Yes, the screen is also bigger, which I do like, but losing OLED and getting thicker bezels feels like a downgrade. In bright games like Mario Kart, the screen does look awesome at first, but in darker games, like Cyberpunk, it does really make me miss the OLED's blacks. So I would take the Switch OLED's display any day. Size is the only real upgrade here. And there have also been some issues with motion blur and input latency. Essentially, the Switch 2 has one of the slowest displays on the market from the past 15 years, even slower than the Switch 1's. Now, I personally have not noticed any input lag, but some users have, and overall, this display is objectively slow. However, my biggest gripe is that there are a lot of new technologies on the Switch 2 that are simply not being used at all. 120Hz was the headline upgrade, yet the only 120fps content is the Switch 2 Welcome Tour, and just one level that demos it. Then Metro Prime 4 Beyond will support 120Hz, but that's gonna be out in December, 6 months after the Switch 2's launch. VRR, same story. Welcome Tour and Star Wars Outlaws do support it, but that's it. and there's no VRR in dock mode even if your TV does support it. DLSS, Cyberpunk uses it, but nothing else does as of today, not even Nintendo's first-party stuff like Mario Kart World or Donkey Kong Bonanza, which would totally benefit from a 120Hz plus DLSS mode. So it's weird. Nintendo built 120Hz VRR and DLSS, and they're not even using these technologies themselves, aside from Welcome Tour, which is basically a tutorial game. Which brings me to the sixth thing that I don't like: most third-party games still don't have Switch 2 upgrades. Take GTA Trilogy, which I recently just bought. It's a bit more stable than on the original Switch, but it's still locked to 30 FPS, with fairly low settings despite the extra power. So don't assume that every game will look or run better if you buy the Switch 2. That will only apply to titles that actually got Switch 2 patches. And my final gripe, the Switch 2's camera accessory. I get it, it's for the new party chat feature, but I'm mostly playing it handheld, and that is an accessory designed for dock mode, so I never use it. I kinda wish Nintendo sold a tiny USB-C clip-on camera for the top of the Switch. That would be cool, although even then, most of what I play is single-player games, so even then I probably wouldn't use it much. Now let's move on to the things that I do like, and the first one is actually our Minimal Moments pack by Wolrod from our app Wallpapers. Just look at how awesome this pack looks. It's got this googly style design, so if you've got a Pixel, it would look right at home. But yeah, you don't have to use it on a Pixel. You can use it on your iPhone, iPad, Mac, or anything else really, since the whole pack is in 8K quality. You can download Wallpapers for free from the App Store and Play Store and check out Minimal Moments, alongside hundreds of other stunning packs. So yeah, those were the 7 things that I don't like about a Switch 2. However, I'm still using it as my primary console, and I think that's saying something considering that I've also got a PS5 Pro and an Xbox Series X, not even to mention the previous Switch OLED model. So here are the 7 things that I absolutely love about the Switch 2, and the reason why I keep coming back to it. Number 1, its portability. The Switch 2 is the only major console that I can actually take with me. I cannot do that with a PS5 or the Xbox Series X. Sure, they've got streaming via PlayStation Portal, PlayStation Remote, and Game Pass/Xbox Cloud, but when I travel, I want to play offline, as trains and planes make it impossible to stream anything. That's why I keep coming back to my Switch. I also love playing in bed or on the sofa without relying on streaming, as on the Portal I do always notice the latency. And the bigger 7.9-inch screen, up from 7-inch on my Switch OLED, does make everything feel much more immersive, so big fan of that. Number 2, the new Pro Controller. You see, I mostly play in handheld, but when I do dock it, I want to use a real controller. The new Joy-Con grip, which is now magnetic, is better, but after a while it's still not very comfy. So I grabbed myself the Switch 2 Pro Controller, and I'm not gonna lie, it is the most comfortable controller I've ever used, and I've used quite a few. Everything from the PS3 to the PS5, and the DualSense Edge as well, the Xbox controller, the Elite 2, and of course the old Switch 1 Pro controller. And here's why I really love the Switch 2 Pro controller the most. It's because of its soft, Joy-Con style finish that just melts into your hands. Also, this slightly smaller shell does fit my hands better, and the weight balance is just spot on. My thumbs land naturally on the sticks and the face buttons, and speaking of the sticks, you don't actually get that plasticky grind when you push them to the edges. They simply just glide. It almost feels like there's a tiny rubber band keeping them off the edges, so any precise micro adjustments that I do feel so easy. Also, the battery life is insane, around 30 hours for me. That's 6 times more than my DualSense Edge. Really, my only complaint with this controller is that we've got no analog triggers, meaning that they're just buttons. You cannot gradually press them like you can on a PS5 or Xbox controller to accurately control the speed of your car, for example, in racing games. Also, fun fact, you know those white accents on the back and around the joysticks? Well, it kind of makes me think that a Switch 2 OLED may ship with these exact same white accents, like the last Switch OLED did. Now, aside from the Pro Controller, I'm also a big fan of the new Joy-Cons. Like I said in my 2-week impressions, they are larger, so they're way easier to hold, and attaching and detaching them is now magnetic. Also, a fun fact, the magnets are inside the Switch 2, not the Joy-Cons, and the SL/SR buttons are metal, so that's what the Switch grabs onto. Pretty smart. And these bigger SL/SR buttons did actually matter for me when I was playing Mario Kart World with my friends. It didn't really feel like a compromise anymore, so split Joy-Cons finally feel comfy. As for that mouse mode, I haven't really used it since my 2-week impressions. Civ 7 does support it, but I actually stuck with normal controls in the end, which I did find more comfortable. Cyberpunk also supports mouse mode, but there I preferred using the gyro aiming over mouse controls, so I'm curious to see how widely mouse controls get adopted a year or so from now. I've also really enjoyed the docked experience, way more than on my Switch 1, as for the first time the Switch 2 felt like a proper console when docked. Cyberpunk on my OLED TV honestly felt PS5 level. Yes, it was a bit blurrier and capped at 30 FPS, at least in the highest quality mode, but it still looked fantastic. Plus, replaying classics like Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey on the big screen at a crystal clear 60 FPS and 4K felt awesome. I'm definitely excited to diving back into more classics, especially the ones that are getting Switch 2 upgrades soon, like Super Mario Wonder. Now, the games. I played a good variety of them. New first-party titles, enhanced Switch 1 titles, and also some great third-party stuff. The one that I sunk my most time into was Mario Kart World. I was on a holiday in Alicante in Spain with my friends for a week, and we got very competitive. And we all found it much easier to control the cars than in Mario Kart 8. And the visuals were clearly improved. The art, the lighting, the animation, and especially playing it in full 4K when docked. Even my friends all noticed these improvements. The only downside, with 3+ players, the frame rate dropped to 30 FPS, which should never happen in a racing game. If Nintendo had used DLSS, this could have been 60, so I'm hoping for a future patch to address this. Then Donkey Kong Bonanza was also a blast, literally. Being able to blast through environments and just destroy everything, really, and just carving your own map felt incredible. As then you could make your own path through the banana gems and artifacts that you have to collect. And every level felt different. Even the performance was rock solid, despite some pre-launch comments that some developers made. And Welcome Tour also surprised me. It had some fun mini-games that teach you about the Switch 2, you can even earn medals and take quizzes. For example, I learned that the Switch 2's HD Rumble 2 can literally create sounds. Yes, the classic Mario coin sounds. And playing Super Mario Bros. In 1:1 pixel scale on a 4K TV is just wild, seeing how far we've come in terms of TV resolution. I also revisited some of my favorite Switch 1 titles such as Link's Awakening and Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, both of which now run at a locked 60 FPS with HDR when docked and 4K, so they played better than ever. I've also been diving into third-party content as well, Cyberpunk and Hades being my most played, and Cyberpunk's the one that really blew me away. Cross-saves specifically were so useful, as I could jump back exactly at the same point I left off on my PS5. And I'm also really hyped for the new upcoming games, Resident Evil Requiem and Hades 2 later this month. And with the AAA library growing with games such as Cyberpunk, No Man's Sky, Hitman, Hogwarts Legacy, even the upcoming Elden Ring, it just makes the Switch 2 finally feel like a legit high-end console, rather than the mostly first-party plus smaller third-party games box that the original Switch kinda was. But really, the reason why I'm using the Switch the most out of all of my consoles or any other handheld is because it offers me the ultimate flexibility. I can play it in handheld or connect it to the TV. I can give a Joy-Con to a friend and we can play together. I can rest my arms on my lap and play it with the controllers detached, and most importantly, I can play anywhere. And both Nintendo games and big AAA titles too, something that I never thought I would see on a Switch. And I know that this will only get better and better. Therefore, the Switch 2 is by far one of my favorite pieces of tech I've ever used, and I highly recommend it to everyone here, even if, right now, it is not perfect. Although I think one day, probably with the Switch 2 OLED, it may be. So yeah, what do you guys think of the Switch 2? And if you have enjoyed this video, then do hit the like button, as it does help YouTube's algorithm. And if you want to see more tech videos like this one, don't forget to subscribe. I'm Daniel, ZONEofTECH, and I'll see you guys in the next one. ZONEofTECH, signing out. Cheers.